Hey, friends and family, and otherwise, welcome to Out of Memory. Thank you for joining us. I am your spectacular host, Christopher Hampson.
Woo!
And joining me, as always, is my recording partner, AJ Hamilton.
I would call you a spooktacular host.
Jesus Christ. Welcome to our second Halloween episode of Out of Memory.
Yes.
I think it's particularly profound that we do Halloween episodes deciding what to keep in our memory, because usually once I've seen something scary like a ghost movie, I try to not really forget it as fast as possible, but I try to have it not be scary in my mind as fast as possible.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of scary movies. A lot of them are bad. I don't know.
A lot of them are bad. I saw a bad movie just 2 days ago.
Oh.
Deep Blue Sea 2.
You mean The Meg?
No. No, it was definitely like a straight to something.
Oh my.
But I haven't seen a bad movie in so long. It was very jarring to see something that was so low quality in the writing structure that I don't know. I guess maybe I've become like a snob a little bit.
I mean, you get more selective, I think, over the years. I
Sure.
remember you and I and a bunch of our friends, we used to watch bad movies on purpose because it was funny. But now I feel like there's less and less time in your life when you're an adult to just waste on something that you know you're going to roll your eyes at.
Totally.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, what are you doing for spooky times this year? For Halloween?
Well, first of all, I can't believe it's already October.
It's weird. It's really weird.
Halloween, no solid plans yet, but it's kind of gravitating towards me and the missus might head out of town.
Oh.
Maybe go to Seattle and go to like a Halloween party.
Nowhere spookier than Seattle.
It's so cloudy all the time. Spooky rain and depression. The difficult part is we haven't decided on our costumes yet. So, yeah, I feel like there's a little bit more expectation as we are in our 30s now. For if you do don a costume, that it has to be somewhat witty or like tropey.
Yeah, you can't just do slutty nurse or like.
I might.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't blame you. I mean, you got those.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, you got the figure for it.
I got that from my mother.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. What about you, man?
I have not decided on a costume either, which is super disappointing. I used to start really early in the year, like probably August or something.
I was really hoping you were going to say like March.
Lousy smart
it's always
weather.
Leprechaun. God damn it.
It's like I just have some block in my brain. I mean, I am Irish.
Block.
I mean, I am Irish, so it works.
The beard does come in very red.
It does. Same as my dad's used to. Now it's white. He knows. He has a mirror. I think me and the roommates are going to throw a party here. We got a nice big backyard, and we got a huge amount of decorations and stuff that we always put up. But I have a couple of those huge blow up ones that have a generator running them, like a big death, and I have a big spooky tree with.
The character death. Okay.
No,
I thought this was some kind of contraption with a generator.
Murders you
to cause a big death.
No, and we got lights and spooky sounds and everything that.
You always have Halloween shit up in your backyard. Like you just don't take it down. There's like a Grim Reaper that's been there ever since I've known you to stay at that place.
That's very true. And we also have all of these fun little skeleton animals, even things that don't have skeletons, like a big skeleton spider. And a skeleton frog now. We got a skeleton wolf that if you press the button, it still howls, which is fantastic. I love it.
Well, I'll take that as an invitation, and
of course,
an invitation to all of our listeners.
Please come on down, everybody.
Can you seat 5?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I possibly can. Yeah.
Today on our Halloween special, Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. We call this tale Out of Memories, Are You Afraid of the Dark episode.
Yay! That's a very long title for a story, but
I feel like it's a long title for a show.
3 words, Out of Memory?
No, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
That's very true. No, that is true.
Are you afraid of the out of the memory?
I am sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to.
It's called being senile. Well, because it doesn't. You were even saying it doesn't acronym down properly.
No,
right?
it's a youted.
That's why I like to use bad English and call it "Are you afraid of dark?" And
Are you afraid of dark? Yeah,
it's AFOD.
That's slightly better. That's only slightly better.
It's catchy. It'll catch on. Don't worry about it.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
No. So what do you remember about this? This was a big part of my growing up. I feel like my adolescence. Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to
maybe even
place
before that,
when I was watching this, like it was definitely like the time of when I was watching weird things like Ren and Stimpy and Bucky O'Hare.
Oh my God! Yes.
So if I had to like slap a date on when I think I was watching it, it must have been like 93.
Possibly.
I don't know. That's a guess. Yeah. So then I must have been like 10ish.
Sure. Yeah. No.
Let's say 10ish.
Yeah, I think I would have been 9 or 10, something like that. I'm very surprised. I mean, I haven't watched this at all since those years, since those mid-time years, but I don't really remember it super well, but it just sticks out in my mind as being really creepy, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, for sure. I mean, I still think back to a couple like shots or scenes from an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, even though I haven't like rewatched it.
Sure.
That just stand out to me every once in a while.
Yeah.
Let's say daily.
Right before you're going to sleep, right before you close your eyes. It's on the back of your eyelids.
If I have to go into like a basement or something, or if I think about that one time that I was sleepwalking.
And you got abducted by aliens?
Yes. Yeah, I probably told you that. So there was an episode, if we're just jumping into it here.
Oh, please.
Some kids got abducted, but it like, okay, that's creepy. And that's kind of like expected as a theme to throw in there for a spooky story. But the imagery was kind of scarring, where like the kid would be like in the like holding cell of the ship, but the aliens would be above him in kind of a translucent ceiling, and all the aliens were faceless, and they were kind of like, I don't know, like crawling around on the ceiling.
Right.
I don't know. Like, so that always stuck with me. And like I went to bed that night. I was staying at my grandma's house, and I had like sleptwalked.
Oh, Jesus.
I had like freaked myself out. So I had come to, even though my eyes were open, I don't remember like sitting up or anything. I was already sitting up, like staring at like a VCR light blinking or something. And
oh God!
I don't know, ran upstairs and woke up my grandma, which was very embarrassing. I was 10 or whatever.
Well, how would you know? You know, it's that's the great thing about, I think, watching these at such a young age, / probably the worst thing, is that they were indelibly marked on us and sort of probably created some of the fears, or at least some of the echoing nervousness of our adulthood. Yeah, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
I think that we could probably single out this show for causing a lot of the political turmoil that we have.
Oh my God.
Just
because of all the clown episodes?
Or all the clown episodes, or no, I don't have anything witty.
I remember a few specific things. Of course, I recorded a lot of these episodes on VHS.
Yeah, what has happened to the Hamilton
they're
VHS
there.
library?
Oh, they're there. Go over to my dad's.
We're using it to make the walls of the bunker that is now under the house to house all of the toys.
Naturally, of course. No, I actually did this thing where I tried to fit as many episodes on a tape as possible. So I would pause.
Would you switch it to like slow play?
No,
or slow record.
No, I would pause the in between commercials.
Oh, nice.
And screw up the next segment of the because I would forget to hit the play button or it would come back too quickly. Some of the most significant ones that I remember, there was this one where there was a computer virus character played by a little person, and his hand was replaced by a VGA dongle, one of those old blue printer.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's like a 52 pin.
Yeah, exactly. And he would try to plug it into a kid's hand. Had the receiving end like burned into his hand, and he would try to connect it to that. There's an old movie vampire episode.
An analogy for like pedophilia.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the dangers of the internet at the time.
I call this tale separation of church and state.
There's an old movie vampire that came out of the screen. Do you remember that episode?
Oh my God, yes. It was Nosferatu that came out of the screen.
Horrifying. Yeah,
that was a horrifying episode.
Oh my God. Like I said, clowns.
That was the first time I'd ever seen Nosferatu, and still to this day is, I think, the spookiest looking of the vampire.
It's so scary. Well, I mean, it's not even the way he's described in any of the books, but it's such a stark visual to look at him and see, the crossed arms and the floating towards you. And
but for him to come out of the screen, I remember that being a thing. I forgot that it was an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode.
I need to see that episode. Also, do you remember there was an old man with a bushy, he looked kind of like Hagrid from the Harry Potter movies, but he had a hand in a jar. And I don't remember the context for it, but I just remember him like,
nope.
Oh, Christ.
I don't think that was an episode of this show.
Maybe not. Maybe that just happened to me.
Happened to you. Yeah.
Damn you, Hagrid.
Damn you, hand store salesman. Sorry, I saw you almost spit out your beer. What are you drinking there?
I am drinking a Dead Guy Ale by Rogue. It's fitting. I like it. Yeah. God, the faceless aliens, that's horrifying.
Yeah. I think we should trade nightmares for our research phase here.
Hey.
Your most scarring episodes I will watch and you watch mine.
Hey, that's a smart idea. Absolutely. No, I'm definitely
that's
down.
Just a way for me to not have nightmares again. At least for my ones.
Or new ones.
Yeah.
Completely new ones. It'll be great. I'm worried rewatching these that they are going to be possibly bad.
Yes, I would say most likely for not only 90s TV, but 90s TV that was aimed at adolescents.
Yes.
So I think that the music is going to be bad. The dialogue will be bad.
Yes.
For some reason, I think that the special effects are going to be okay for that time period.
If you give it, to the benefit of the doubt. I remember at the beginning, we were talking about this, and I remember there being an intro to it, like a spooky, like everything was dark and it was going around spooky areas, and there was, I don't know if there was a theme song or not, but it was like something really short.
I try to bring that file up in my brain of like what the intro was, but all that plays is Tales from the Crypt intro.
Oh my God. Which I loved that
like
one.
You go through the forest and then you go into the castle and you go down,
and then down
the secret passage.
Yeah.
Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Why aren't we doing that show?
That was actually, so this show was on SNICK or Saturday Night Nickelodeon, right?
Yes, I think so.
And well, that's what I remember it being on. I remember sitting down. This was like almost a ritual every week. I would sit down and watch, if I remember correctly, it was like Pete and Pete, Ren and Stimpy, all that. And then at the very end was like the latest it went, which I probably was 9:30 or 9 or something like that.
Yeah, no later than 10 for sure. No. And then Nick at Night came on, which was boring.
Oh my God, I'm so glad they gave that a separate channel.
Yeah, wasn't that like I Love Lucy reruns and such?
Yeah.
It was like black and white TV, right?
Oh, yeah. And then later on it became like Three's Company and stuff like that because that became classic.
Yeah. I feel like that's how they sold it into the ancient heads of television. Like, and after all this kid junk, we'll put on old shows. However, no old person is up at those hours.
Not at all. But
so who was that for?
The parents that were watching it with their kids?
Was it?
I don't know. But that was actually a weird thing, was ending an episode being like super freaked out. And then it's like, it's Bewitched, you know? It's
maybe that was the trade-off, is they had to like have to give you something happy to go to, your little soma after the scary.
Right. There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what are your two? Is it the Nosferatu one?
Yeah, definitely the Nosferatu. And I don't remember, like the computer virus one was super creepy. But I feel like there's something better. I don't know. Yeah, what the movie vampire and the computer virus one for you.
Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome,
asshole. I also feel like the payoff to these episodes is going to be crap. or how they like sum it up.
Yeah, no, I doubt it's going to be a clever thing of like, and there was a moral to this story that you should always leave a note. What episodes do you want me to watch? The Alien one?
Yeah, I have no idea what it's called. We'll have to do some research there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That one, and also there was an episode about like a kid who was too scared to go down into the basement.
Okay, the basement thing.
And I mean, very similar to like in Home Alone, how he's scared of like the boiler.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Because I think each time the kid has to go down the basement, and also I don't know how a kid had to go down there 3 times in one episode, but he had to go down there 3 times, and like the first time it was like glowing red eyes. Ooh. And then which I think was the scariest thing that definitely stuck with me and made me actually scared of the dark for a while.
Oh.
And then I think it was other things. It was like a clown, or I don't even remember what the third one was, or if it was, or how that even resolved.
That's actually a question we should ask. Were you afraid of the dark as a child?
It's a good question. I feel like yes, depending on like what I was digesting at the time. Like okay.
Like pizza. Pizza always gives you bad edge.
No, definitely just like the movies I watch. Aliens. Yeah. I watched that way too young. That gave me bad dreams for a long time, where I would sleep with the blanket over my head so like a face hugger didn't like jump on my face at night.
Right. Freddy Krueger got me.
Yes. Oh yeah, dude, that got me too. So yeah, I was absolutely fucking scared of the dark.
Yeah. We're going to watch some of this series. This Are You Afraid of the Dark series. We're gonna watch a couple each. We're going to figure out who the actors were in it and if they've done anything. I remember...
Ouch.
Yeah.
Or not.
I don't know. I remember there being a Goosebump episode with Ryan Gosling. So maybe there are certain like characters spotted throughout, actors spotted throughout this show that actually went on to do some big stuff. Who knows? Didn't the tellers, didn't the members of the Midnight Society age out, or like they had new people come in or something like that? There was like
I don't think there was a set cast of them.
There was kind of an arc, like an outside arc of the main characters, but maybe not.
And I would like to see some of their interaction on the beginnings of some episodes.
Yeah,
because I don't fully remember if they even like talked or if they had more than one dimension to their characters.
Because they sit down around the fire at a couch.
That story's stupid.
And then they would
your mom's cheating on your dad.
With me.
This tale 2 Christmases a year.
Oh my God.
And how this was even allowed to be on the air. Like a nightmare fuel show.
Yeah, I mean,
as early as they came for
the
youngest audience they could possibly pitch it to.
I think you were right. It's definitely a child version of Tales from the Crypt, but I can't believe that they... I want to know how G-rated or how PG-rated it actually was when we rewatch these. Like, if it was, or if it should have been like
that's something good to add. Like, what inappropriate stuff might have been in some episodes.
Right. Yeah. And if it was like, you know how there's ratings now, like Y7 or Y13 or something like that. Did you ever see that on the corner?
Yeah. This was before the rating system, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious who
video game rating and everything.
The Boy Scout troop leader / CEO of Nickelodeon was like, yeah, we'll put this show on and toughen those pussies up. We get some complaints, we'll just write them back and tell them that their kids are pussies.
Freak them out. Yeah. Freak these kids out. We're going to ruin a generation. Yay!
They did.
They did.
And now they're paying for it.
Oh.
I don't know what that means.
Because we're all sticking them in shitty retirement homes.
Yeah.
Specifically the people in charge of Nickelodeon.
Okay, well, let's get to it. Insert spooky line here. Got anything?
Yeah, no, I don't. I just
research. All right, we'll go do the fucking research.
All right. Sitting down.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned after the break.
We'll be right Spook.
Of memory.
Ooh, we are back.
Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, all trophy Halloween store sound effects at one time. That one that's like the skeleton one. Yeah. My favorite Halloween store sound is it's not even like an animal, but they usually give it to like bats or something, and it's like a
yeah, the shaky.
Yeah, it's like a shaky. I don't know what the fuck it is. Is this sellable? Can we put this on our podcast?
Hell yeah.
All right, ship it.
Heck yeah.
We don't give a fuck.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Folks, we are back and terrified, and we're actually sitting in the dark. It didn't feel right doing this with the lights on.
Exactly.
That's what I tell my girlfriend. So away we go. We watched several episodes, more than two, at least on my part.
Yeah, no, I tried to skip around a bit. I don't.
That's what I tell my girlfriend too.
And she's cool. Yeah, no. I watched the very first episode that they aired. They actually aired a very first episode the year before this came out, and the creator was super pissed because they aired it on Halloween. And he was like, nobody's going to watch this. They're all going to be out trick-or-treating. And then it turned into a huge thing.
Yeah, a huge thing.
Yeah.
That was 1991, I think.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So let's start at the beginning. You wanna break down the show?
Why not?
The high-level spans of this thing?
Absolutely. This was created by DJ McHale and Ned Candle.
Not Nev Campbell.
No, but we will talk about her later.
Yes, that's what I tell my girlfriend.
It's a running theme tonight. But yeah, DJ McHale is actually an author, and he was like the executive producer, and really he directed some of these episodes. He was really hands-on with this thing.
Spooky hands-on.
They did 91 episodes over 7 seasons. Between 1990 and 1996, those were the original episodes. And then they came back 3 years later in 1999 for 2 more seasons, actually, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, and from looking at some of the much later episodes, the feel was not quite the same. It was the same in the way that it held on to some of the tropes of early 90s, and it really still didn't work.
Oh no, we're tipping our hand too soon.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, this was a very 1990s show. It premiered in Canada in 1990, and it premiered in America on Nickelodeon in 92.
Not counting the debut of the pilot, Halloween 1991.
Of course. And this...
Actually.
You're right. It was shot in Richmond, British Columbia, and the greater Montreal area of Quebec. So if you ever hear them saying a boot, that's why. That's absolutely why. I picked...
That's where the term came from.
Oh, I thought it came from Italy.
Because it's shaped like
it's shaped like a boot. That's right.
Way to go.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's way longer than I thought that it had run.
Me too. Yeah.
And
I must have tuned out in those 3 years and not really gone back to it.
Well, yeah, because we had started high school by then.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean that, and maybe part of the reason that it got canceled after '96 and then came back and maybe didn't do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think that the audience that was following it just grew up. Like those are kind of core years and lots of changes happening.
Yeah, and I don't think you can really
changing, hairy, smelly bodies
like werewolves.
Yes, and it is terrifying. So oozy.
No, but you can't really catch a new audience because that was very. I think it was a very age specific thing. You know, you really wouldn't be scared if you were too old.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's true.
And I believe at the time also Goosebumps had come out within that time, hadn't it?
I want to say that might have come out like in those in-between years. I think that's kind of when it launched because I know that it was super late to the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so, you know, it felt like it was ripping off. In fact, some of these...
Dude, totally.
Some of the... there is a Say Cheese and Die like episode in the Are You Afraid of the Dark canon.
Was that before they launched the episode of it? I know the book was already out, but...
It might have been, yeah.
I believe that was book 4 of Goosebumps or something like that.
Wow.
I'm going to throw that out there. You Googling it right now?
Of course I am. Say Cheese and Die, Goosebumps book. It came out in 92.
Not what I'm asking.
Oh, the show?
No. What number book was it?
Oh, gotcha. It was series number 4.
Yes.
Man.
Nailed it.
How'd you do that? That's incredible.
A red theme cover, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. With the family of skeletons having a good old
barbecue
cookout. Yes.
Yeah, it's great. I wouldn't mind having a poster of that, honestly.
I'll get you one for your birthday.
I'm going to put it up at every travel agency. Well, speaking of Goosebumps, and I feel like that anytime I think of Goosebumps, the show, I think of the opener.
Oh, yes.
Which was full of like kind of just weird tropey things.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the most flaccid version of Tales from the Crypt opening.
Mm-hmm.
But
very true.
Rewatching this, the opener for Are You Afraid of the Dark still had like some kind of like creepy elements to it and like unsettling images. And there's that word again. I think we haven't used unsettling since the last Halloween episode.
I believe not. Yeah, because we try to stay away from unsettling things in our life.
Leave our viewers with something more settling.
Yeah, exactly. Just settle down, folks.
Unsettling.
Settle down. This is such a mood setter. You know, after I believe this was the last. It was the last show in SNCC whenever it would be airing, and so it was at 9:30. You'd already gotten your laughs out with Are You Afraid of, or with all that and Pete and different things like that. And it was sort of bringing the mood down, bringing the lights down. I remember I used to watch this completely in the dark. It was great.
Really?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Just for scary effect?
I think so. Yeah.
Dude, and your living room, I wouldn't have been able to do that as a kid. Like, because you face the TV and then behind you was a giant like glass
bay window. Yes,
to
exactly.
Like a big like foresty looking backyard. Dude, there's no fucking way I could have done that.
No creepy things sneaking up on me. No,
that's how creepy things operate.
Yeah, absolutely was pretty, had my head on a swivel making sure that no skeletons were coming out of the woodwork. Honestly,
I feel like that carried through into the days of the internet as well.
Oh, of course, yeah. But that was
isn't coming out of the woodwork.
oh bones.
I think that's how I'm going to refer to ejaculation from now on. Gotta get the skeletons out of the woodwork.
Oh Jesus! Why not?
Yeah. So the opener shows a series of like, I don't know, mildly creepy things. They're more just creepy places you don't care to be.
Yeah.
But the filter they throw on there is so blue. It's like the bluest opening of anything I've ever seen in my life. But I do love the match that combusts itself, and then the hand sinks away and the smoke comes up. I think that's very elegant.
It is. It's. I've actually been looking up if there are any type of memorabilia or anything like that. There's not much, but I've found a couple of like patches and things weirdly on Etsy that people have put together, and it always has the match. Nice. With the hand, although one of them unfortunately looked like a hand holding a spoon because it was all one color.
Yeah,
I was like,
was it blue?
No, it was green
blue?
Actually. It was a heavy green. No, but I always like, because it's also like you were saying the creepy sound effects.
Yeah.
Of a haunted house. There was the creaking. There was the little kid laughing.
I don't know why child laughter is creepy, but for some reason it is in the right setting, especially in the right color. So we go through the opener, and then we are introduced every episode to the Midnight Society.
Yes. A group of children. Chillins. A group of chillins.
Yeah, usually kids coming out of the woods. But I really respect that they, even though they use the Midnight Society to kind of bookend this, it's a group of kids coming together and telling a spooky story. They throw a lot of investment into kind of the lore of the characters outside of the story. It's not just like, well, and here's a scary story. They even had an episode called Tale of the Silver Sight, which goes back to the original Midnight Society in 1937. Oh. And I guess they mentioned that the grandfather who started the society passed it down to his grandson, and that's why it's still around in the 90s or whatever.
And was that Gary?
Yeah, Gary,
the main guy. Yeah. It was also very interesting with the Midnight Society.
Which one's Gary? Is he Rufio?
Gary is the nerd,
or is he Billy from Power Rangers?
Basically Billy from Power Rangers. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
The cool thing about them was they sort of. I didn't take a super lot of notes on this, but I know that other people have done the research, and each person has a bit of a theme to their storytelling. Sometimes people, there was a character named Stig later on, and not for very long, and he only told two stories, but his name was Stig because of stigma, because he was apparently a stinky fellow. I know it got a little weird near the end, but he told stories about being on the outside of things, being an outcast. And other people. Was
he the heavyset kid?
He was the heavyset kid. Yeah.
Got it.
And there were other characters who would sometimes stick to only aliens or only ghosts or different things like that. So it's actually I don't really remember keeping track of who told the stories week to week, but I think if you look back at it and watch it all as one, it's very cohesive in that way.
Interesting.
Which is kind of cool. Yeah. So if we were to create a Midnight Society, what would the rules be, do you think?
Well, I think that following the lore, we would have to stick with the rules that were set in place by Grandpa Gary. Wait, no, not Grandpa Gary.
Gary's grandpa.
Yeah, whatever. So apparently it's kept to a small group of friends, and there's a lot of swearing. Swearing to secrecy. Mostly about the location, and I guess about like talking about it. I guess it's kind of like Fight Club. Except they don't do anything with fat. So they make everyone swear to secrecy. If you violate that, they beat you with a bag of oranges. nominated to nominate somebody new for the society. It has to be a unanimous decision, and they lead the kid to the Midnight Society blindfolded or sometimes with a bag over their head.
Yeah.
And they make them tell a scary story.
While blindfolded still.
While blindfolded. Sometimes I think they abandon this later on. But if the story is not good enough, they beat
Burn
their
them.
mother with a bag of oranges. And
They use them to put out the fire.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually, like I said, I watched one of the first episodes, which was the nominating of Frank Rufio, as you say. Yeah. He was let in, and he told the story of the haunted or the phantom cab. I don't know if you remember that one or if you saw that one.
I've probably seen that one. That sounds like a season 1
Oh
episode.
yes, very much so. It was about a riddle. It had Dr. Vink, who we'll get to.
Yes. We'll definitely talk about Dr. Vink.
I love him.
Yes.
And then riddles were heavily involved. And, so many of these stories take place in the forest, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Apparently the forest that they filmed in, it was more of a swamp than a forest itself.
Oh,
and
fun.
it was protected land, so they couldn't fumigate, and I guess the mosquito problem was out of control. So people were constantly getting bit by mosquitoes while they were in the forest.
Yeah, the on set, the stories were shot in a forest, but actually almost all of the Midnight Society thing was shot in a studio, and every single one of they would shoot the bookends of the episodes in about a week. They would plan out the entire season. Yeah, for the season. They would shoot all of the intros and outros and then be done. So they wouldn't have to rebuild it each week, which was just fascinating.
Yeah. I also like that, well, I don't know if I like it, but I thought it was interesting. There are no episodes that show the kids lighting the fires, the campfire. And that's because they didn't want to show children how to start a fire with matches or anything like that.
Because they were too worried that they would become, they'd be like, I want to start a Midnight Society. The only thing I need is a match.
Yes, and all I have to do is hold it, and it will combust and start, and then go out very quickly. There was also, just speaking about the campfire, they always put out the campfire, except in episode 65, they left the campfire going because they thought that they were getting canceled. And maybe that was where they broke for their hiatus.
It might have been,
coming back. But there was a couple of little Easter eggs that they threw into that episode. I guess it's an episode about a hospital, and one of the closing scenes of that hospital is a door closes and it says room 65 on it, and you can hear very faintly the theme to Are You Afraid of the Dark playing.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Do you want to talk about what your impressions were of this show going back to it?
Yeah. I'd love to.
Okay.
So things that struck me as unpalatable. The music.
Okay.
Which I can appreciate being safe and not too creepy for the age range that they're trying to pitch this show to, but man, sometimes it really doesn't feel like it fits.
No,
it's like the worst series of CSI, let's say Miami, music with the drunkest musical director putting it all together.
Well, it was
just awful and jarring, and it really takes you out of it being too creepy. So again, I understand the justification. It just
Well, funny enough, each episode was scored separately. So other shows like that never did that, and scoring separately means that there is no cohesion throughout the whole series.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense. But still editing. Come on.
Oh, no, I know. Yeah. But it is very much a product of the 90s with those types of music cues and stuff like that. It is, I will agree with you that the music sometimes is out of place, but you're right. It is sort of to keep a little bit of a lighter tone.
Yeah.
So I get that. Something that bugged me, and I think that it's along the same lines of the keeping it a little bit lighter, literally, is the lighting. I honestly, it was shot. You could obviously tell it was shot on like a handheld camera or something like that. It was low quality, and if they had lit it a little darker, I think it would have held up.
Yeah.
I honestly, for being Are You Afraid of the Dark, they did not use the dark very well, and that is the problem with shitty old cameras like they were probably using, is that it doesn't pick up much if you don't light it to shit.
Yeah.
But then in one of the episodes that we're going to talk about, the Nosferatu episode, it is so hard to dig the vampire in full bright light.
Yes.
Whenever you see it, you're just like, oh, come on, put some shadows on this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, and I think that, like you said, that it rides that fine line of this being a scary show, but for children.
Yeah, for 10-year-olds or something, or younger.
That I agree with you there. Speaking of the lighting, or at least like bright things.
Yeah.
Oh man, the wardrobe. Sometimes the wardrobe, man, like it's like they just wrote like a couple of notes and they were just like, Jeff wears purple shirt and blue pants, and that's exactly what they had. Just like the plainest, most giant 90s purple shirt. Also just the 90s style in general was, oh my god, man, it's crazy seeing it.
Everyone was wearing like a plaid shirt and like tight acid wash jeans and huge sneakers.
Yes.
Constantly. I also noticed something. The sets were very intricate, but almost like they were built for The Grinch That Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey one.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they had really cool, like say, for instance, a mad scientist would have all of these really interesting things on his wall, but then he would have this really big, garish thing in the background. There was one, the Tale of the Renegade Virus has this science room, and it has these two massive gears just turning on the wall, doing nothing.
So let me tell you my theory.
Absolutely
with that.
Nothing.
I think like this comes down to budget and also just like people that you got working on it. Where I think you have like maybe people that are not so great with the lighting and the wardrobe. You also have what I feel are still really good like makeup effects.
Yeah,
and,
as best as they could.
Like, anything that wasn't outside of wardrobe and that was an actual costume, I felt like was fairly good, and sometimes like pretty scary still.
It's kind of like they let the rest of the stuff go to the side, and then they focused mainly on the monster.
They totally they blew their budget on whatever they felt they needed to. So I feel like they had a really good props person for building like small props. But I get the feeling when I'm watching this that when they're traveling around Quebec or wherever the fuck they are, they're like, can we film in your house? Can we film in your theater? And like it's like, well, this is what we got. We got this giant ass room, but we're only shooting this. So they're like, put a big thing,
throw some things on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're right. They were some insane sets and props. Also, it's got to be said that the height of acting, my God. These were some amazing actors.
You know what? Honestly, I saw a couple that like the child actors they had fairly good.
Surprising.
And I've also seen the worst child actors I've ever seen.
Oh, it runs. I mean,
worse than episode 1.
Casting that many actors is insane to do, and probably filming it fairly quickly. I'm sure these kids got the scripts a couple of days before or something like that. You know, just no time to memorize and no acting coaches on sets probably. These were it really runs the gamut. There were some amazing, I mean, and most of these kids were Canadian actors. And adults were probably Canadian actors, although there a couple of times there were American actors that we will get to in my segment. Guess who that was or something?
Oh, guess who that? Yeah, what is it?
You know who
guess what
that
they were
was? You know what that person is?
Something like that.
Yeah, I got a
we
segment,
really need
everybody.
someone to write in and help name this segment. It's a beast.
But yeah, no,
right.
Oh God! Also, they loved Dutch angles.
Dude, the Dutch angles are out of control.
I'm pretty sure they had a broken tripod.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Oh, is something wrong in the scene?
Oh, disorienting.
I'm gonna be sick.
And I gotta say though, despite all of the shitting on it, there were some, for the time and for I'm sure what their budget was, some really cool attempted effects.
Dude, totally.
You know,
and I think that we probably cover some of those in the episode.
Absolutely, yeah. Should we jump into those?
Let's dive the fuck into those.
Awesome, diving. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Tail the Renegade Virus. I'll do that one, then you could do one, and I'll do one, then you do one.
Oh, okay.
I'll do one,
That'll be crazy.
So Tail the Renegade Virus. To set the scene. Oh, yeah, that's right. So the Midnight Society comes in, and Billy the Power Ranger is late because he had a virus on his computer.
Ah, yes.
And he suspects that one of the other kids put a virus on his computer, so he tells a scary story about it.
What a jerk.
To teach him a lesson. So in the story, it's about pretty much two assholes, Simon and Evan, who I think they're in like middle school or something like that, but they are
maybe
the biggest dicks to each other and have the
so
worst
horrible.
90st clothes that I've ever seen. Like Simon does shit like he steals Evan's bike because Evan put an egg in his shoe. Can you fucking imagine having an egg put in your shoe?
Why would you do that, man?
I have no idea.
I mean, we used to shoot each other with spitballs, and that was pretty much as far as we would go.
I feel like that was an art though, because we really perfected that. Anyway, yeah. So they're assholes. They go back and forth, and then I guess they have this common friend who's a teacher there, Mr. Poe, who kind of looks like a unsuccessful, way too hairy Weird Al Yankovic. And he kind of reminds me of Coach Steve from Big Mouth. I don't know if you watched that.
Yeah.
But he cannot read. The guy who plays Mr. Poe was in an episode of Goosebumps, actually.
Of
Phantom
course
of the
he was.
Auditorium.
Nice.
But anyway, Mr. Poe's been working on this virtual reality game, and I guess it's finally ready. But the whole war with Simon and Evan like pranking each other. Evan puts some virus that he got from somewhere into Mr. Poe's machine, and they put the virtual headset on Simon, and it's not at all virtual reality. It pretty much it's full
it's
immersion,
mind
like,
hacking.
takes place. Yeah, it's mind hacking basically. So he doesn't go to medieval times like he thinks he's going to. The virus shows up, which is a little person in probably one of the best like costumes and like makeup effects that I've seen in the show.
That thing stood out to me so much. That was like one of the
jarring.
Yeah, that was one of the later episodes, I think, and it was shocking to me. I think I was like, wow, they're stepping up their game. This is cool. Yeah.
He's got like an exposed brain, and he's completely painted in like metallic silver paint,
which he died from.
That's what viruses look like. Yeah. He didn't talk like that. He kind of talked like an asshole.
He really
and he laughed
did.
a lot.
Oh.
He basically says he's going to escape the virtual world by taking over Simon's brain, and the way that he does that. Or plans to do that is Simon has a port that appears on his hand.
Ooh,
like a
VGA port.
Yeah, I thought it was a VGA port, and the virus has a arm, which is a cable, which like when he takes off his hand or his glove, and you like see the cable, like it kind of like moves around like a tentacle, like it is kind of creepy. And he had like other wires like grab the kid because he's got to plug into him, which is like it's unsettling on so many levels. virus rape, pretty much.
Oh no!
But I thought it was funny that, and I looked into this. The cable that the virus has is a 25-pin parallel port cable,
Okay.
which is mostly used for printers.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have even fit Simon's 15-pin MIDI port that was on his hand, which is used for like gaming controllers.
Oh my god! Incredible.
Yada yada yada. They stop the virus and they become friends and shake hands and decide not to be assholes.
But
or did they? Oh, that's right. There is like a little thing like as the janitor is like cleaning up like I don't know, janitor shit in the real world, the virus is in his trash can.
he like reaches his hand out.
Yeah, like his hand is in there.
I was like,
shit like
no, your whole thing was that you were Wait, are we supposed to assume that he didn't get out of the video game?
That's interesting.
That might be it.
Maybe he is still in there, or he's in the game,
or
maybe just that Simon is garbage, and that's why the virus is in the garbage.
Makes you think.
Makes you fucking think.
You know what I want to say about those endings is that it was super. I always loved it when it wasn't a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
totally.
It was so cool when it was left hanging like a oh, you're still screwed sort of thing.
Yeah, like dun, dun, dun. You're not gonna sleep tonight, are you, children?
That still felt like a Twilight Zone episode or something, or Tales from the Crypt, where it was, there was not a happy ending. This was going to be something that you still have to deal with, bro.
Well, interesting you bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Midnight Society mantra,
mm-hmm.
We submit this for the approval of the Midnight Society. That is actually a tribute to
Rod Serling, right?
Yes, Rod Serling. Yeah, because he would always introduce himself and then
submitted for your approval.
Yeah,
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh no, did you have anything else to say?
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank God.
We have so much to say. So you had pointed out that the virus calls him Einstein a lot.
So much. He calls it. He says it every other line to him.
Yes.
Almost. And he even at one point he's sitting on a shelf or something like that, freaking the kid out, and he's reading a book entitled E=mc².
Yeah,
which is
ridiculous.
I think it's a little forced. But that's fine.
There's a lot of like subtle props that are super forced. Like there's a poster for like a big concert that these kids want to go to, but all it says is like the name of a concert, and then below it has a picture of like Razor Ramon and another and Ric Flair. I know it's kind of like sloppily
rock and roll.
The only other thing I'll say about Renegade Virus is they pretty much do this episode again.
Oh yeah?
There's the Tale of the Virtual Pets, where essentially like Tamagotchi style pets are like trying to pretty much like take over brains of children.
Oh, neat.
They're basically transferring themselves into their brains.
Huh.
Yeah,
that's
I
that's
kind
a
of wish
rip.
that they had called back to the Renegade Virus, or he had made an appearance or something.
That would have been cool. Like he was sending his minions out.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Exactly. He's evolved. But why don't you jump into one of yours?
All right, I'll tell you the story of the Tale of the 13th Floor.
Chilling.
Ooh, so
maybe it is. Wait, this is one of mine.
This was one of yours.
It scares me.
So this starts out with a girl. Betty Ann is telling the story. I don't remember who Betty Ann was. I guess I made Betty Ann I think was the girl with the bandana. Okay. No, that was Kiki. Betty Ann, I don't know.
No, that was Mr. Miyagi.
That's right. Okay, so the story takes place in this apartment, and this little girl, she has a friend, and they play hockey up on the 13th floor because it's abandoned and nobody's there, and the elevator operator tells them, "Oh, you should never come up here," and he's the one who took them up there.
Asshole.
He never stops them from going up there. So they go downstairs, and
wait, was he an Italian guy?
He was an Italian guy. He's like, "Hey, don't go down here."
That guy makes an appearance as an asshole in the next one I'll talk about.
Of course he does. I love it. So they go downstairs, get their mail because they're 12 years old and they're the ones who get mail. Because also in this episode, there are no parents. You never see
fantastic.
Another adult in there other than the elevator guy. So he should be watching out for these kids, goddammit. So
I kind of want to see a Tales Are You Afraid of the Dark where there are no parents. It's just like it's a continuation of like things eventually getting worse, like nuclear power plants that catch on fire. There's no more gas.
No,
no one's producing
this.
It's
a Mad Max.
It's just a fucking mad world.
Oh God. So this girl's name is Karen, and she gets invited to this thing. They're not allowed to go up to the 13th floor anymore because it's being remodeled. Right. But she gets this invitation to the 13th floor anytime tomorrow. Sure. It says anytime tomorrow.
That is going to be how I word the next invitation.
Anytime, whenever, just come over. I want to hang out. Yeah, so he's...
Girl on couch is scared of the dark. She is under the couch.
Girl under the couch this time. So this Karen is the girl and Billy is her friend. And she said, well, I'm not going to go up there. They want people to test... turns out it's from a toy manufacturer that set up a toy manufacturing place on the 13th floor of a residential apartment. Makes no sense. She doesn't want to go up there without Billy.
Dude, totally confirms my theory that they just went around like, can we use your apartment? I know you're remodeling it.
Exactly. So they go up there and it's like a Willy Wonka type factory, just crazy ass bright colors, and Gus, the elevator dude, got replaced, kicked out by this very tall lurch-looking guy with the loudest suit, with the biggest lapels ever, and everything like that. He's like, "Come on up with me," and
what's the point of that?
I don't know. And so
significant.
I don't know, man.
It's just noteworthy.
Yeah, pretty much. He shows up later. But they go in and they're like, oh, Billy, you can't be here. You're not the one we want to test. And he's like, no, I'm going to stay with her. And they start testing them. And Billy starts freaking out and like falling asleep. And Karen's like, what are you doing to him? What's happening? And they're like, don't worry, let's go on to the next thing. Hey, try to control that thing with your mind. And she's like, what? Stop it. And then she does, and it turns out that they're aliens. And
the kids are aliens?
Nope. She is, though. The alien people who have set up this toy factory for some god-unknown reason they're like, hey, we came back here. It's about time. We're taking you back to your home. How about that? And she's like, no, you can't take me back. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to free Billy and get him out of here. And she runs around and pulls a bunch of John McClane sort of things.
She cuts her feet on glass.
No.
Wait, was this the 13th floor of the Nakatomi Tower?
That's right.
Yes.
That's absolutely right. She gets a gun, duct tapes it to the back of her head. No, she goes through all of the...
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, Alan Rickman, we miss you. And she goes, she rescues Billy, and then she's like, no, you can't stop me. Also, one point, she finds this guy, and he's one of the bad guys, and he has a remote control to him, apparently. And then
Billy's not real?
Not him. One of the bad guys, and she uses it on him, and then she tries to use it on this other lady who's trying to take her away, and she's like, "We're not all robots, Karen."
Stupid. was this a dumb episode?
No, and yeah, kinda. And then then they lock her in this chair, and they're raising her up, and they open up this portal up in the top, and
that's the scary part.
And that's the scariest thing is you start seeing these faceless, freaky aliens,
and they're like clawing at her,
clawing down there. Yeah. But you find out that they're welcoming her. They're welcoming her up, and she's like, "No, that's not me. That's crazy." And then when they escape, they're like, "No, we can't we've got to launch. We got to go. We can't come back
Why?
for another 10 years. I don't know.
Why?
No freaking clue. There's just this, I don't know why they wouldn't have said, come earlier in the day rather than any time tomorrow.
Our uranium life span it's almost out. Like,
Bye. And so they come to her on a TV broadcast when her and Billy are safe in her room. Still no parents. And they're like, "We are your parents, Karen. You should have come with us, but we will be back in 10 years." And Billy is like, "Yeah, it's crazy. What is she even talking about?" And it's tight on Billy. And then it pans over to Karen, and Karen is one of the faceless aliens.
Yes.
Ooh, spooky. So
I wish I wasn't sitting in the dark right now.
God, it's right behind you.
Shit. It's
Jesus.
right above you.
Oh God. Yeah, so that was one of them. That was it was again way too bright and way too goofy. Like all of the aliens were acting like, I don't know, some imitation of a human. They were not professional at all at their jobs. They were really bad. And all of the stuff seemed very, if they had only been expecting her, it makes no sense why they would have had to put on such a facade. That's all I'm saying. It's just,
I'm really disappointed that it ended up being a dumb episode.
yeah, I'm sorry, man.
Especially
I'm
because
sorry.
The next episode that I'm going to talk about,
Please.
one that you gave to me, is The Tale of the Midnight Madness. And it's
is my
really
favorite.
good, actually.
Yeah.
Just structure-wise, the actors they have in it are fantastic. It's also one of DJ's favorite episodes.
Nice.
He just felt like they were really hitting their stride. It's season 2, episode 1.
Okay.
So, they really hit the ground running. And maybe even dumped a lot more budget into this one than maybe they filled like the middle of their season with crap. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how it works. I just watch this shit and then we do a podcast on it.
Exactly.
So this is our second episode in this season. So this will be one of the crap ones.
Nice. Yep.
All right,
we're doing fine.
To frame
we're
it,
doing
I'm going to
fine.
cut out all the Midnight Society bullshit. Like who gives a crap?
All right.
He wants the kid who's telling the story, Rufio. He wants tickets to the midnight horror whatever in their local town. He scares.
Oh, sure.
He scares the other members out of their tickets, and he goes with Billy the Power Ranger.
Brilliant.
So the child actors in this one, they're really teenagers. Really good. Really
nice.
good. Yeah, pretty impressed. And they threw a lot of elements in there that I didn't see in a lot of other episodes. Like there's like subtle romance going on between them. There's well-timed comedy. But basically this guy and the girl work at a sorry, that's a big burp. They work at this like old-timey movie theater where they show movies in like old-timey style. They really didn't get into like what made it like unique, except that they were old shitty movies.
Well, it looks pretty. The place looks pretty.
The place that they shot in, looks fantastic. It looks great.
It really like in the story they're trying to become a landmark, and they really should.
Well, it's all driven by the main kid, and I didn't write down what his name was. Boy. Lad, I don't know. He's for some reason trying really hard to save the theater, mostly because he wants to keep working with this chick that he likes.
Aww.
And they only have like one person that comes a night.
Sure.
So enter Dr. Vink.
Oh, I love Dr. Vink.
So Dr. Vink is some crazy, tiny Hagrid looking person. And this is his second appearance by now. I don't know where his first appearance was, but I know that he also comes back for a third
he's
appearance.
in the first episode.
He's
in the Phantom Cab.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was the story by Frank.
Nice.
Actually. Nice. So it does make sense that he would reappear. That's one of those running things is that Frank always had Dr. Vink in his episodes.
Yes.
Yep.
So Dr. Vink, amazing actor. Aaron
Traeger.
Yes. He says that he will save their theater by if they will show his film that he made, and he guarantees that it'll restore the theater financially.
Nice.
And what he brings is basically Nosferatu, but it's a different version where basically Nosferatu wins. Yeah. Also, I did look
Finally.
at Nosferatu, which I do think is just a creepy character in general.
Yeah.
Nosferatu translates roughly in like archaic Hungarian to vampire, which makes sense.
Okay.
But,
Yep.
that was not his name. His name actually was Count Orlok in the silent film.
Okay.
And what's supposed to happen is basically the protagonist drags Count Orlok's coffin into the sunlight. So when he goes to like sleep in his coffin, he dies. But in this version, while he's trying to drag the coffin into the sunlight, Nosferatu shows up and drinks his blood, and that's it. Then the movie just fucking ends. And,
I think there's got to be more to a beginning to that movie, right? Maybe.
Sure.
That's all we see.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. It's a full movie. It's probably exactly like Nosferatu. They don't show any, as far as I know, they don't show any footage from the actual film Nosferatu.
No,
they just
of
kind
course
of
not.
recreate it, which is fine.
Yeah.
The Nosferatu makeup, fantastic.
Yeah, very much so.
Very creepy. He's got the long, crazy, disgusting teeth.
Yeah.
They focus a lot on his really long and creepy fingers that he has with like really sharpened like fingernails. Like they do a lot of shadow play with it. There's multiple not slow shots, but like tight shots of like his fingers like coming very like creepily around like door frames and shit.
Yeah.
Like he's coming.
Right. Oh.
Basically, they start showing the film. People start coming to the theater. But the greaseball Italian manager they got working there was no longer operating an elevator, so they say. He got fired from his last job. Now he's running a movie theater. He's an asshole, basically. He makes a deal with Dr. Vink where they'll show Nosferatu, and if people start coming to the theater, then he'll give basically a night of the week to Dr. Vink to show whatever other film he wants.
Right.
And as soon as the film starts doing well, he basically backs out of the deal.
What a jerk.
Yeah, he's an asshole. Nosferatu then comes to life and comes out of the screen. The way that they handle that, though, I thought was fantastic. Like, even though it's not like really advanced special effects, but the way that he would like come through the screen in and out it looked great. It looked good.
Yeah. It looked like he was breaking the plane.
Yeah. He definitely breaks the fourth wall. Not very tasteful. By the way, this asshole of a manager, when the theater is doing really bad right before they decide to show this film, there's a scene where it shows him like pull out a flask and like take like a couple really deep gulps of it. I was kind of surprised by that.
It was always, that was odd in a kid's show, but I feel like that was so common in the 80s and 90s, just rampant casual alcoholism.
Yeah, he might as well have been smoking.
Yeah, right.
Like, who cares? There's basically
that means bad guy.
Lad to save his girlfriend after Nosferatu comes out and bites Italian greaseball.
Yep.
He saves his girlfriend by going into the movie and then drags the coffin into the sunlight. Nosferatu follows him in there to stop him, and he like rips the curtain off the window, and Nosferatu dies. The way he dies, though, is also another like really cool effect where it shows him like he gets hit by the sunlight, and he kind of like tries to cover himself and like crumples to the ground, but they faded in really nicely with him actually being just a cloak, basically, because like in that same shot that doesn't break, the kid like grabs the cloak and picks it up, and he's gone. It's just smoke.
Just really good trickery, camera trickery. Really cool.
Really good, like low budget, good just editing, really.
Yeah, but taking advantage of what they could do.
Exactly.
What they had in their pocket. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So they sum it all up after the kid comes out of the movie. Unfortunately, the Italian greaseball is still alive. He's like, "Oh, what happened? I got such a killer headache." Dr. Vink is in the theater and he's applauding. He says, "Oh, that was a better ending I could have written for myself." And he bought the theater, so he and he has lots of movies with that are way more intense than Nosferatu. So the bad guy wins in this story also.
Indeed, and I would hope that he fires the manager because
no, they need him to feed off.
You shouldn't be. That's fair.
He tastes so good, like a fine sauce.
A vodka sauce.
Oh,
hey, oh, yeah. No, I really enjoy that one. I love whenever Dr. Vink shows up, and I also love his and then somebody whispers, "And I'm not a nutbag." I love that so much. And it's it's so iconic, and it's very cool that they try to weave in stories and a tripod. They try to weave in lore from a lot of different cultures in Are You Afraid of the Dark, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's very cool, you know, playing I think a lot of these were based on stories, just stories out in the ethos of the world.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not necessarily all of these were super unique, but they were a cool, fun take on them. So
yeah,
that's neat.
Yeah, either pulling consciously from different cultures or out of desperation to fill the 20 episode seasons or whatever they were.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, take us home. What's this?
All right, this is the last episode we're talking about. It is the Tale of the Dark music, and this was your choice.
I hope it's not another dumb one, but I'll let you.
No.
Proper.
This is the 11th episode of, I believe, the first season, if I'm right.
Nice.
And
yes, I'm sure that it was one of the first episodes.
And I am going to, so that I'm not stumbling through this, I'm going to read a prepared thing as if I were speaking it to the group. So
now you're just intentionally trying to make me look bad.
No. I was very disappointed in my last thing.
So were you typing the whole time I was talking?
Not at all. Here we go. All right. The tale submitted for the approval of Out of Memory. This is the Tale of the Dark music. Andy wasn't having a great time. His parents had recently gotten a divorce. To help his mother, he had to get a job delivering newspapers. His bratty sister was always getting on his nerves. And on top of everything, the family was moving. Andy's mom had inherited a house from her estranged uncle after he mysteriously died. Andy didn't like the neighborhood. There was a bully on his paper route named Coda.
That sounds like an asshole name.
He was an asshole. Also, he had an abusive dad, which is just great.
Coda did, or this
Coda did.
Everyone had an abusive dad.
Yeah, pretty much. And Coda is always washing the front steps for some reason. I don't know.
I'm sorry. How was he washing them? With like a scrub brush?
With a scrub brush, yeah.
And soap or just water?
And soap and water.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dish
real
soap?
weird. I didn't ask him.
What scent?
Lemon pledge. And Andy actually accidentally threw one of his papers and hit Coda while he was washing the steps.
Accidentally threw a paper? I'm sorry to keep stopping you, but I gotta know.
It was bad acting, but yes. Okay. He absolutely
Shit, this is
did.
going to be another dumb one.
I know. All right. Andy had run into Coda a few times, and every time Coda threatened him, if only there was a way to avoid this bully. While doing some remodeling in the new old house, Andy found an old radio in the basement. While he was working on projects fixing up his old bike, he would play the only music that seemed to come out of the radio, some old-timey dark music. But if he let the music play long enough, he started feeling something eerie, like a presence was in the room with him. He heard a rattling. He turned the music down and the rattling went away. When the music was on again, he heard the rattling a second time. He turned toward the noise and an old cellar door burst open. He could see a pair of red eyes gleaming in the dark. A deep and otherworldly voice spoke to him. "Hello, Andy. Come on in." Horrified, Andy ran up the stairs and swore he would never go down to the basement again. But that wouldn't last for long. His mother asked him to go get the laundry from the basement because his little sister refused to. This time, he took his own boombox down with him. But when he got down to the basement, the old dreary music took over the radio and the door swung open again. This time, a carnival barker was welcoming him through the door into a portal to a carnival. As he stepped closer, the barker became a laughing skeleton and the portal started sucking Andy in. He held onto a ledge with all his might and reached desperately for the off switch to the radio. He finally reached it, and the moment the music died, the door slammed shut. He was safe. For now. Later that week, Coda the bully was again threatening Andy on his paper route. When Coda saw Andy this time, he shoved him off his bike and threw the bike in the way of a garbage truck.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah. Devastated and angered, Andy came up with a plan. He went back to Coda's house later and lured him into the basement. Now, I'll break from this because he throws a newspaper at him with a brick in the side of the newspaper.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so he's kind of a dick. But here we go. He went back to Coda's house later and lured him back to the basement, locking him in and blasting music into the basement. Andy listens to Coda's screams and eventual silence. He shuts off the music and heads down to see if Coda has been properly scared. Instead of Coda, he finds a brand new bike. The voice from the cellar whispers, "Feed me, and you can have whatever you want."
There you go. So it wasn't a shitty episode.
No, and
the greatest part is very shitty, unplanned elements in it.
Very much so, and a horrible bully. But the greatest part is, after he says, "Feed me, and you can have whatever you want," Andy hears his bratty sister upstairs yelling at him for some reason. He looks up to the stairs and looks back. Blackout.
Dude.
He's gonna feed his sister to...
Pretty good. Okay, good.
No, I really enjoyed that one.
I'll go one for two. That's okay.
Not bad.
So
not bad.
The red eyes, though, like that the first one you described, that's the image that I still think about every once in a while.
Oh, you got to watch it again.
Yeah.
It's
unsettling because it looks like it. You can kind of see the God, what do you even call it? I guess like the mask that the eyes are set in, and it kind of looks like robotic or like a skull or like a Terminator type thing. God, I'll never forget. I've only seen it once, but it like seared itself in.
Yeah, no. Again, I loved it. I think it could have been immensely improved with lighting.
I wish that there was more time spent on the stair washing. Like, what is happening on these stairs?
Did you pee on the stairs again, Coda?
Dude,
and he was
that's
such
a good episode. That's actually very dark.
Yeah, it really is. It feels like, again, something from Twilight Zone, where it's this kid who gets this power, and then because there is that part in the movie of Twilight Zone where the kid has the crazy ass power to control anything in the world, and he, just forces people to do his bidding. It's great. It's fantastic. I watched a couple other ones, and really, I more often enjoyed them than rolled my eyes, I think.
I felt kind of the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched one about fortune cookies that controlled your fate.
Nice. I watched another one about, it actually starred Dr. Vink again.
Nice.
And he was creating danger soup. And it was actually by forcing
Tom Cruise in it, flying a jet
and running real fast. No, he would put
to the danger soup. Careful, burn your mouth.
People would pay $100 for a bowl of soup because it was so amazing. And the way he made the soup was he shoved his workers that he didn't like anymore into this room that sucked the fear out of them.
Whoa.
and then it would distill it into a vial, and then and sometimes the fear would become so real that it would kill them.
I feel like the show,
not bad.
As it walks its fine line between scary but for okay for children, it's impressive. At least from what I saw, nobody dies.
Yeah, or on screen that you see.
Yeah, they might disappear,
right?
But I think more often than not, you see them reappear by the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or they're ghosts or something like that.
They were ghosts the whole time, though.
They were Yeah, I mean they're the Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah,
of the episode. Yeah,
I do want to see the Die Hard movie where Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time.
The whole time, and it was a poltergeist haunting that solved the mystery. Oh yes, absolutely. Oh, and have Snape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Hans Gruber, man. I'm working this elevator over here. I got fired from my last 2 jobs. I'm kind of an asshole.
But I'll help you hack into the thing, to the mainframe.
Hack into the mainframe? Can't hack the mainframe without a fine source.
All right. So we should talk about the little known facts of this, the fun Easter eggs that we got. They didn't make any other media that much. They made 3 things. They made a music video, which if you haven't seen the music video,
incredible.
Look it up. It's called "Feel the Fear" by Maz and Kilgore.
If you
I don't know who those people are.
Somebody scream.
Somebody scream. There's also a board game, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
I can't imagine what the concept would be, just going around and avoiding scary things. And there was a video game in which the kids actually starred, and it was a really, if you look it up, it's the complete thing is basically on YouTube. It's called Tale of Orpheo's Curse. And you are actually the one telling the story. And so what you do is you try to make the right things. It's just a point and click flash sort of game, but it was the best they had at the time. And you walk around and you explore and try to make the correct decisions to make the people think that you had a good story.
It kind of sounds like the old Lord of the Rings game that was all text based.
Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah,
I mean, I like that the Midnight Dust. I looked it up because I wanted so badly to know what it is. It's non-dairy creamer, and apparently it burns really well because it's mostly petroleum. Makes me think I should stop using it in my coffee.
Yeah, maybe. Or you could be real midnighty and drink all of it.
Only have that. No coffee, just Midnight Dust. And they refer to it as Midnight Dust. Like, that's the name that they had for it.
I loved that bag that they kept it in. It felt so magical. The leather bag.
Yes.
It was really cool. Did you know that they actually would shoot in real graveyards sometimes?
But yes, I did know that.
But it's actually against the law to show the actual names on real tombstones. Yes. So they made fake foam tombstones.
Yeah, they would travel everywhere with
there.
those.
Yeah. They were originally going to call the show Scary Tales. As a play on fairy tales, which I'm super glad that they did not do. That would have been real dumb.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk about there. He never came up in any of the episodes that we talked about, but there was another Dr. Vink type character. He was like a gypsy fellow who owned a curio shop with like a bunch of different magic
the
stuff.
Hand in the jar?
No, actually, that was Dr. Vink in the first episode. Yeah. But this guy is named Sardo, and people would constantly. He's played by
Rye.
He was played by Richard Dumont. And his catchphrase was, people would say, "Oh, Mr. Sardo." He was like, "No, Mister, accent on the dough."
Stupid.
So real dumb.
Cool.
Yeah. But also some fun guest stars we're going to go through. In my segment, you know who that was?
I don't know. Who was that?
You don't know who that was? All right, I'm going to do this quick because there were a hell of a lot of actors in this whole thing. First of all, highest profile, I think, Ryan Gosling.
I've heard
he
of
was in, and I have too. Most people have. And he was also in Goosebumps. He was in Are You Afraid of the Dark? He was in The Tale of Station 109.1, and in Goosebumps he was in Say Cheese and Die.
Say Cheese and Die, book number 4, red cover. Find it at your local travel agency.
Heck yeah. He was also almost cast as a member of the Midnight Society, but he was doing the Disney, the Mickey Mouse Club.
You put a note
at the time.
You wrote your note as almost was a member of the MS, and I was like, oh, he was almost the kid in the wheelchair.
Oh no, that was Burger King Kids Club. All right, Finch from American Pie, if you remember Eddie K. Thomas, was in actually yeah, exactly. The Tale of the Curious Camera, which was sort of the parody of Say Cheese and Die.
Book 4, red cover.
You got it. Alicia Cuthbert from 24, Girl Next Door, and currently The Ranch, was the storyteller Megan in one of the revivals.
She also ate a tongue sandwich. In one of the episodes.
Yummy.
Just to be creepy. It was one of like the worst episodes.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah. Nev Campbell actually watched this episode. This was the Tale of the Dangerous Soup.
Dangerous Soup.
Yep. She was actually the star of the whole thing, which was kind of cool. Jay Baruchel from Knocked Up and many other things. Yeah, the Canadian fellow in Knocked Up. He was in 3 episodes, The Tale of Zombie Dice, Walking Shadow, and Dead Man's Float. He was back in 1954 in Dead Man's Float. He was in the flashback. Oh, also, Hayden Christensen. Do you want to know where he got his middle? Not his... Well, I guess...
His middle?
his beginning. I guess this would be his beginning, because this wasn't even close to when the... What's it called was?
Yeah, he was like 12 in episode 1.
That's true. But he was in The Tale of Bigfoot Ridge, and I have no idea how old he was, but he must have been young. Colin Ferguson from Eureka. I don't know if you ever watched that. That was fun. He was in The Tale of C7. This is a fun thing. Aaron Ashmore. He was in Smallville, and he is the brother of Sean Ashmore from Animorphs.
Yeah, nice.
He was in the 13th Floor. He played Billy.
Billy from Predator.
Yeah, that's the one. That's exactly it. Oh, and a fun thing, Jewel State, I believe is how you pronounce her name, from Firefly and Serenity. She is the character.
I think her name's Kate.
I think her name's Kate. Yeah.
She sells strawberries in the beginning or something like that.
Yeah, sure. She was in 2 episodes, Watcher's Woods, and a couple of mentions, Bobcat Goldthwait, Gilbert Gottfried, yep, and Charles S. Dutton.
I hope they were all the same episodes.
Oh God, that would be fantastic. So that's where they got their starts or finishes, or some people didn't go on to do much more after this series. Some people, Gary went on to be a weatherman. Kiki went on to be an R&B singer. Nice. And Tucker is one of the voices on Paw Patrol. So that's kind of fun.
It's a little fun.
Obviously... and Quinn from the revival is a firefighter.
Interesting.
So that's fun. Yeah.
Some people go on to make normal ass lives for themselves, and that
seems like
absolutely fine.
Good for them.
And then some people go on to be Jedi that murder a bunch of children Jedi.
So if you want to go and review some of the scariest episodes, I would agree.
Do it. That's
stamp of approval.
Do it in the dark.
Go do it now. Fun little fact. There may be a resurgence of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Really. Maybe. November 13th, 2017, it was announced that Paramount Players would be making a live-action film adaptation. And it would be written by the 2017 It writer.
Nice.
which is kind of interesting. I imagine it's going to be, it can't be just one story though, right? It has to be somewhat of an anthology movie, similar to the Twilight Zone or Creep Show or Trick or Treat or VHS.
I want to say that the story will probably be something like almost like Scream, where like the original Midnight Society get back together because they're slowly being killed off by their story's ghouls coming to get them.
Or like the Goosebumps movie.
Yeah, okay, sure.
And DJ Hale is coming back, and he's leading all of his monsters. Wild.
All right, how are we scoring? Are You Afraid of the Dark, or as I like to call it, Aphrodite? I forget what the acronym was that I had.
All
right, what are we scoring? A-Rod.
Well, I'm gonna give it. It doesn't.
It's hard because they're episodic.
It's very.
They're so inconsistent.
They are very inconsistent. Overall, what I saw, it's very of the times. So it doesn't hold up in my mind, but I'm glad I watched it. So I'm gonna give it 7 handfuls of midnight dust.
Nice.
6.5. 6.5. I'll just add a little bit more on the fire.
Okay.
Tiny bit more.
I mostly agree with you, although I was expecting this to be consistently worse, and I feel like my expectations were exceeded a little bit, especially with the Midnight Madness. So there is evidence of things still being creepy and unsettling. And good acting and good story structure. So I'm actually going to give this more of 7 bland wardrobe choices. One color.
And that's a positive.
7 awful hard shades of blue.
7 matchsticks lighting on their own. Oh God, my hand.
Shit. All my fingers are matches.
God damn it.
Well, that's it for our episode. So the question to you is, are you afraid of the dark? On this Halloween. On this Halloween?
Halloween.
I think that's Jesus' penis. Anyway, that's it. Good night. Don't eat any candy with puncture marks in it.
No, because that's probably a vampire
You'll
candy
get
already.
Really high.
Hey, follow us on all the things at Out of Memory Pod. You can email us outofmemorypod@gmail.com. And hey, maybe sleep with the lights on.
Yeah, try that for a change.
It's a spooky time.
Thanks for joining us. Contact us, write us, come hang out with us at local bars. No.
Don't do it.
Good night. Bad nights. Good morning.
Oh, spooky night.
Voice. You should have to spooky voice talk for all of Halloween.
It's like talk like a pirate day, talk like a ghoul day.
I'm sorry, but you have cancer.
Doc, can you
it's
please?
Malignant.
No. Oh well. All right. Good.
I'm not even fucking with
Next
you.
time.
No?
No?
Oh, I forgot what I was going to do. Shit. No, there was one that we were really going to do.
Killing a neighbor with your nads.
Killing a neighbor with your nads.